violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, YouTube? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe. Let's get into the video. So guys, I wanted to show you this story in Chicago because it pretty much represents the lawlessness that's going on in Chicago and other major cities across the U.S. So an SUV slams into store. 4 burglarize business on State Street, then flee, police say. Chicago police said it happened in the 1800 block of South State Street around 4:30 a.m. Sunday at a unique Chicago A premium sneaker store. So these sneaker stores are getting hit up. A lot of these sneaker stores are black owned. So this is, we're supposed to have Black Lives Matter going on, but that's not the case apparently. The driver of the SUV, along with another person, exited the car when a dark-colored sedan with 2 more people drove up to meet the pair. All 4 people went inside the store and grabbed display items before running back to the sedan and fleeing, police said. The SUV that crashed into the building was left at the scene. Nobody is in custody, and Area 3 detectives are investigating, police said.
A 22-year-old man is recovering tonight after he was shot during an attempted carjacking. It began late last night at a red light at Laramie and Division. Police say 2 men shot at a car, then approached with their guns drawn. They demanded the vehicle, but then the driver took off.
So these carjackings that are happening, a lot of these carjackings are pretty much a result of these crimes. So these guys, as you can tell in the last story, they left the car at the scene because they probably jacked somebody earlier, then go do the crime, leave the car at the scene. So it's really like, okay, no big deal. There's really no way for them to get caught unless they leave like blatant DNA evidence.
They fired several more shots. The victim was sitting in the front seat and hit. The shooters are still at large.
So guys, I wanted to show you this video because this is how quickly these carjackings can happen. So you got to remain on code, and you got to keep your head on a swivel, and you got to be aware of your surroundings. So here we go.
Right face.
You see how quick he just skipped over there, and boom, he's in the whip. Dang, and just leave shorty to face plant. Wow. She could have died from that because she's older. She could have had some very serious injuries. She probably is pretty injured. And everybody watches. Nobody does anything. All right, guys. So I got another one. This is in Memphis. A suspect caught on camera dancing outside Fraser store after trying to rob the clerk. This is how much these dudes just don't care, okay? And it's the level of apathy that they have that makes this crime wave that's going on very frightening. So Memphis police are looking for a man who they said tried to rob a store clerk, then was caught on camera dancing outside the store when he couldn't get anything. So he tried to rob the clerk, didn't get anything, and now he's just dancing outside the store like everything's cool, no problem. Investigators said it happened Sunday, December 12th, 2021, at the CD Food Market in the 1800 block of Burnham Avenue in Fraser. They said a man went into the store wearing a ski mask and a yellow sweatsuit. Police said the suspect pulled a handgun and tried to get to the clerk through a security window, but couldn't. At that point, investigators said the man got mad and took off his mask, then went outside and started dancing around before running away. And this is him with the gun dancing.
So what is causing the spike in violent crime, and can anything slow it down? Experts will tell you there's no magic cure, but do they have any potential solutions in mind at all? Here's Jenny DePrizio.
Another day, another murder. 2 people were murdered here in the Mesick Button neighborhood Monday morning. Friday night, Wooddale High School student Brianna Woods was gunned down at a gas station.
Wow. So we got a high school black female gunned down at a gas station. Brianna Wood, I believe. No protests. No Black Lives Matter riots. Nobody tearing up the streets over this. Even though she has the same first name as another Brianna that I recall.
A high school student, Brianna Woods, was gunned down at a gas station. And almost 3 weeks ago, young Dolph was shot and killed at Makita's cookie shop. The list of senseless killings doesn't stop. While Memphis is no stranger to crime, the recent spike in crime has many people wondering what's behind it.
What's behind it? Unfortunately, it's the high population in brothers, man. Like, when we get together, we just don't get along. And for some reason, that translates to black men shooting other black men, women, and children.
Recent spike in crime has many people wondering what's behind it.
Gang activity is a major part of our violent crime problem.
The head of the Memphis Crime Commission, Bill Gibbons, says gang activity is to blame for a lot of Memphis's recent violent crime.
And what they don't understand is not everybody doing these killings are in a gang. So it is gang activity. Like, the gangs definitely have something to do with it, but they're not the only thing.
Gibbons says the pandemic is also partially to blame. The third factor, according to Gibbons, last year's social unrest has had a measurable impact on law enforcement's proactive activities.
So they're talking about the George Floyd situation, the Jacob Blake situation, the Rashard Brooks situation, the many situations where there were black men who were killed in some odd way by the police. That social unrest combined with COVID-19 combined with gang activity is what they are chalking it up to. What they're not speaking about are the prosecutors and the DAs who are letting these people back out on the street. What they're not speaking about is the handcuffing of the police department, the defunding, the rhetoric, just the rhetoric of defunding the police is enough to make these police move more cautious, less proactive in solving crime. And this amalgamation of different factors has contributed to what we see now. And these guys don't care. These guys are on demon time, and the lawlessness is going to continue.
The law enforcement officers had the same reactions as everybody else, and probably have been a little more reluctant to interact with people as a result of the unrest.
It's not just that the murder rate is high. So far this year, there have been almost 5,000 aggravated assaults in the city of Memphis, and it too is happening all over town. Examples of aggravated assaults can be non-fatal shooting.
Look at that map of aggravated assaults. That's just aggravated assaults.
Or other serious crimes.
As difficult as it is to articulate one thing that's causing it or 3 things that are causing it, the same is to be said of what it's going to take to fix it. It's not going to be just one program that this office runs that's going to fix it. It's not going to be...
We're done with the programs, ma'am. Just let the police do their job again and we'll be good.
One program that the police department may start that fixes it. It's really going to take the community.
Often victims and suspects in aggravated assaults know each other, and that it's not uncommon that retaliation is involved.
We need to take these aggravated assaults seriously because an aggravated assault can easily turn into a murder. Just depends on whether or not someone's a good shot.
On the upside, Gibbons said in recent months, violent crime in Memphis has slowed slightly, but that is probably no comfort to those who lost friends and family this year. In East Memphis, I'm Jenny DePrizio.
So guys, the final story I've got for you is about Drakeo the Ruler, and he was killed at a music festival. And I'm sure that there will be no lawsuits, even though people are dying at music festivals and concerts all the time. They're not going to hit Drakeo the Ruler over the head, or anybody in his camp or associated to the rivalry that, or the rivals of Drakeo the Ruler. Nobody's going to send lawsuits and try and sue the venue or anything like that, like they're doing with Travis Scott. Even though at a lot of these hip hop concerts, black men, black women, kids get shot, drive-bys at music concerts, guns being pulled out, shot at music concerts. We know that people die at hip-hop concerts, especially, okay? It's commonplace. And this is just another example. Didn't involve guns, actually involved knives. And a lot of people are likening this to a prison hit, but I'm just going to show you some of the footage backstage where there were other rappers, other performers, guys like Whack 100 and whatnot, and he's a manager, but, you know, his performers, his artists, backstage in scuffles.
Niggas out here squabbing. Niggas out
LA
here squabbing.
makes some motherfucking noise!
Niggas out here squabbing. Niggas out here squabbing.
Bring the beat back. We gonna do a social experiment. Let me pull the cameras out. Record this type of shit. Cause it's winter time. LA been on some shit. I need everybody with arms. Throw your hands back up. Throw the doors back up. Come on. Yeah, everybody.
So you see what's going on. These guys are pretty upset.
I need this motherfucker. This is how we gonna do it. With your hand down, you a bitch. Alright. Whoa, look, bounce it like bitch.
And that breaking news is out of Exposition Park, where a performer was stabbed at the Once Upon a Time Music Fest. Law enforcement is now looking for the person who did it.
Tonight, the LAPD will not confirm who that performer is, but we do know the festival headliners included prominent rappers 50 Cent, Ice Cube, and Snoop Dogg. The stabbing was reported just before 9 p.m. at the Bank of California Stadium, and we are just learning from the LAPD it happened backstage. News Chopper 4 Alpha was over the crowd of thousands of people as police swarmed that scene.
And what I will say, a lot of these guys who get involved in these altercations, these gang members, they're not innocent. Unfortunately, their lives were taken. But a lot of it comes down to the energy that you put out in the world, the enemies that you make, the beefs that you stir up, that you entice and instigate. So it's crazy that this continues to happen in our community, but it's not surprising.
Crowd dispersed when the fire marshal ordered the concert end early and everyone go home.
Let's take a look from News Chopper 4 right now. You can see most of that crowd is gone. Again, we do know the person who was stabbed is a performer. The victim is a man approximately in his 30s. We are still trying to learn more about his condition, and we'll continue to bring more updates throughout the show as breaking news as soon as we get them.
Gang violence and other kind of violence. So it is what it is.